What's it like playing guitar for Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi? It's a funny thing when you grow up listening to certain bands and then you end up working with those people. It's really a trip because the way they are in reality versus your expectations, sometimes it's dead on, sometimes it's really different. But I like sharing these stories because I've been able to work with a few pretty cool people, one of them being Richie. I was playing guitar for ORIANTHI, who is Michael Jackson, Alice Cooper's guitar player, and she had been dating Richie Sambora for a few years. So when I met Richie, you know, we got along, he liked me, so I'm playing guitar for Richie Sambora too, right? And Richie's a trip, you know, he's from Jersey, so everything's like, hey, like big hands and, you know, lots of that going on. He's from Jersey. And it was always interesting to watch him work because he would come at things from more of like a producer standpoint than a guitarist. For example, when we were rehearsing for a show, he would respectfully kick everybody off the stage except for the bass player and the drummer, just the rhythm section. And he would just work with them until everything felt like it was in the pocket. Then he would bring everybody else up and he would put his guitar on. And, you know, then he would do the stuff with the talk box, the whoa, 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 and all that stuff. And it was so cool to watch him do, right? I also had an opportunity to play a lot of the actual guitars he used and recorded with over the years. Like I got to play his acoustics and a few of his electrics. In fact, he had an awesome electric guitar collection. He would invite me over to the house sometimes. And his house looked like the Scarface house with like the two big stairways and stuff. It was really badass. And I'd always end up eating spaghetti over there for some reason. And it's hard to look cool when you're eating spaghetti. Anyway, but he has this amazing guitar collection. And one day he comes around the corner and he's got this Fender Strat in hand. And I'm like, what do you got there? And he said, he hands it to me and he says, check out the serial number. And it was like 007 or something. It was like the 7th Fender Stratocaster ever made, you know, or something. And it was like in mint condition. It was really crazy, like the guitars he has. That being said, when it was showtime and we would travel places to go perform, he would bring these old guitars with him. Like he brought like a 57 Les Paul and a 57 Gibson V with him. Like he would use these things. They weren't just like locked up in a vault or something. Like he really enjoyed playing these guitars and he would bring them with him and I'd be super nervous the whole time. Like, oh, what if something happens to it? Richie is a great improviser too. Like he would just make things up and play like these what seemed like hour-long solos, you know, but not before diming out his amp. Everything was always so loud and on 11. And I think that was just how he came up. You know, they didn't have in-ear monitors and things when he was in Bon Jovi early on. So he just liked it really loud. And he didn't like wearing in-ear monitors. Like, and when you're a guy like that, I think when you're experienced and famous and whatnot, you go with what you know. And that's, you know, what he did. He really cares about his music too. He would actually get nervous in the studio. Not like nervous, but just like, you know, really asking a lot of questions to the producer. One time we were in there with Bob Rock, who's a huge producer. If you look him up, he would be like, is this cool? Did this sound good? And it's like, you're Richie Sambora, but he really cared about putting forth a really good performance. Like he didn't just phone it in. He was really present, you know? He's fun to work with. And one of the things he would do was like when he was trying to relay how he wants a part or a groove to go in a song, he would always like, that's how you would get the song from him. And it worked every time. Yeah, big personality. And you could see how he and John Bon Jovi really complemented each other well because from what I know about Bon Jovi, and I've never met John, but he seems very business, very, you know, to the point. But Richie's definitely more of like a free spirit. You know, you're not going to get a leash on that guy. He's free range. It was cool getting to play the classic Bon Jovi songs and stuff with him too. You know, like I said, you grow up listening to music that really inspires you. And then when you get to play it with the man who wrote it, it's a really cool experience. And I've been lucky enough to have a few of those. So anyway, there you go, Richie Sambora.